On February 17, 2003, the quotation of the Austrian main index increased. The foreign ministers of Iran and Oman demand peace. An armed criminal robbed a currency exchange office in the center of an Israeli city, Netanya. The EU countries are trying to overcome differences in approaches to solving the Iraqi problem. This is the news of that day. There is nothing unusual, agree. But something else happened that day. The robbery of the century took place in the small city of Antwerp. And these are not just high-sounding words. On this day, a 50-year-old Italian stole, according to various estimates, from 100 to 400 million euros. Is it impressive? Let's go. Let's step back into the past for a while and fast forward to the beautiful Italian city of Palermo. Leonardo Notarbartolo, born in 1952 in Palermo, Sicily, had a passion for stealing from a very young age. After some time devoted to petty theft and lock-picking, he moved on to more complex activities, starting to follow jewelers all over Italy in order to study their behavior and commercial transactions. As a result, Leonardo gathered a group of professional thieves, mostly over the age of 30, including lock-pickers, alarm masters, safe-cracking specialists and tunnel experts. The band members living in and around Turin became known as the Turin School. Leonardo and his gang of thieves took part in several robberies. In the following years he posed as a jeweler, which allowed him to receive invitations to offices, warehouses and workshops for inspection. Using precious stones as tokens, Leonardo gained trust, but soon ran out of supplies and disappeared. Repeating this cycle, Leonardo regularly traveled twice a month to Antwerp, Belgium, to exchange stolen jewelry for cash. In 2000, he began renting an office in the Antwerp Diamond Center, posing as an Italian importer of precious stones, and rented a safe in the vault to store his mined property. In subsequent interviews, Leonardo stated that he met a Jewish diamond dealer in Antwerp who invited him to lead a large-scale robbery of a diamond center in the city. For 18 months, the unseen organizer of the Great Robbery was actively acting as a respected diamond dealer in the heart of Antwerp's Diamond Quarter. The city, known as the diamond capital of the world, has become the setting for this audacious crime. Antwerp, the second largest port in Europe, is famous for its rich diamond industry. Concentrated in the Diamond Quarter, it is here that boutiques, offices of diamond dealers, and the Antwerp Diamond Exchange are located. Residents of the city call those who deal in diamonds diamanters. In this area, around the train station, Leonardo Notarbartolo was playing his secret game. In 2001, he rented an office in the Antwerp Diamond Center building, where valuables of individuals and companies were stored in 189 deposit boxes. Disguised as a diamond dealer, Notarbartolo successfully spent 18 months making deals and creating the appearance of the decent business. And so, on February 16, 2003, Notarbartolo and his accomplices carried out a robbery that became legendary, called the Robbery of the Century. The Antwerp Diamond Center building was equipped with advanced security systems of the time, but the invisible organizer was ready for the most daring step on the night of February 16 to 17th, when Antwerp is engrossed in a tennis tournament between Venus Williams and Kim Clijsters. Leonardo Notarbartolo and his team deftly carry out a robbery of the Diamond Center. Although at this time the city is in a whirlwind of sports passions, robbers do not waste time and take out loot worth 100 million euros. The alarm is raised only at 6 a.m. the next day, when the chaos in the vault becomes apparent. The detectives who arrived at the crime scene are shocked by what they saw. The security systems seemed to be working at full capacity, but the criminals did not succumb to modern technical tricks. The mystery is how they managed to open the 3-ton door using a code and keys. The answer lies in the fact that Notarbartolo had previously installed a camera out in the vault, recording the combination to open the door. The keys were in a small room in front of the entrance, left by the criminals to ensure a carefree return. The best detectives from Belgium conducted an investigation at the Antwerp Diamond Center, where the robbers managed to bypass all modern security systems. The question is, how did this happen? I worried everyone in the building. All security devices are functioning normally, that the robbers successfully enter and left the building as if there were no technical barriers at all. Gradually, the police revealed the secret. Understanding how the criminals managed to deceive the security systems, they taped the light sensors with black duct tape and treated the motion sensors with ordinary hairspray, which reduced sensitivity and allowed the robbers to pass unnoticed. A very interesting fact was that the vault door, which weighed 3 tons, was opened using a 4-digit code and 2 mechanical keys. Notarbartolo said that he often visited the vault in the role of a conscientious diamond miner and installed an inconspicuous camera to record the combination entered to open the door. The code was entered correctly the first time, otherwise the warning system would have worked. Any careless movement could activate the alarm, alerting Antwerp police and security within seconds. Nevertheless, the criminals managed to secretly enter the underground vault. Initially, they broke into a neighboring building. From there they moved into a garden shared with the Diamond Center. Several accomplices entered the vault through a balcony in the garden, while Leonardo Notarbartolo himself, according to him, remained in a car nearby. All participants in the crime worked with gloves, preventing fingerprints from being left. They changed the surveillance tapes to cover their tracks. Special tools purchased in advance were used to crack the safes. All actions were performed in the dark. The lights were turned on only for a short time. Perhaps training in a copy of the vault helped them in this, to bypass sensors that respond to heat and motion. Notarbartolo pre-treated them with ordinary hairspray. This trick was tested by him the day before the robbery, right in front of the security cameras in the vault. The guard, who knew the Italian, ignored these manipulations, assuming that he had just visited the premises again. But no one could be sure how long this trick would last. The film of varnish could collapse at any moment and give away the criminals. The day after the robbery, the police received a call from a local hunter who, while walking through his land, came across a pile of garbage. Initially, the man assumed that these were the pranks of naughty teenagers, with whom he sometimes gets into trouble. He thought that the children decided to take revenge on him. However, the police were interested in a detail. The hunter mentioned that envelopes with the seal of the Diamond Center were found among the garbage. Detectives went to the scene, collected evidence and began an investigation. During the verification process, a receipt was found for a sandwich purchased at a nearby store. The guards were lucky. Thanks to the videos from the store, they managed to identify the identity of the person who bought the sandwich. It turned out that it was Leonardo Notarbartolo. On the same day, the Italian was arrested. 4 other members of the group involved in the theft, each of whom was nicknamed the criminal leader, received aliases: Speedy, Monster, Genius, King of Keys. 3 of the accomplices were identified and detained. But the King of Keys remained the only unidentified gang member who successfully evaded the investigation. Do you remember the TV series Paper House? Yes. It thundered almost like our robbery, so there are also almost no names in our history. We have already met our professor. Let me introduce you to the rest of the participants. In addition to Notarbartolo, the team consisted of at least 4 other members to whom Notarbartolo gave pseudonyms during the interview, although he declined to specify who each pseudonym referred to. Speedy, described as an anxious and paranoid person, he was a longtime friend of Notarbartolo and was responsible for throwing garbage in the forest. Most likely, the pseudonym of Pietro Tavano. The Monster, described as a tall, muscular man, he was apparently an experienced lockpicker, electrician, mechanic and driver and was very strong. Most likely, the pseudonym of Ferdinando Finato. The Genius is a specialist in alarm systems. Most likely, the pseudonym of Elio Donorio, an electronics expert who is known to be associated with a series of robberies. The King of Keys is an elderly man who has been described as one of the best key forgers in the world. His true identity is unknown, and he remains the only member of the team to escape police custody. It should be noted that all the names chosen by Leonardo's 4 accomplices were fictitious, with the exception of the 5th participant, known as the King of Keys, whose identity remained unknown. The group, using camera pens, carefully fixed the internal structure of the Diamond Center, using images and video recordings to train on the created replica of the vault. The detained Notarbartolo insisted that he was a mercenary insurance fraud, but his version was not confirmed. He remained a mystery, claiming that their group was framed. He was sentenced to 10 years, but was released early. Attempts to hide from the conditions of his release led to his rearrest in 2013. Interestingly, Notarbartolo claimed that his gang trained on a full-scale replica of the vault, created with the help of an inner man from the Diamond Center. This is the secret of the robbery of the century. Since Leonardo returned from prison, he seems to be living in his house in Giovano, Turin, Italy. He is currently in his 70s and mostly prefers to lead a secluded life, presumably owning a small jewelry factory. In addition, it is unclear whether Leonardo maintains contact with his family. Surprisingly, the rest of the diamonds stolen during the robbery were never found, and investigators never revealed how the robbers flawlessly carried out their complex plan. In a 2016 interview, Leonardo expressed his dream. "Do you know what I dream about? It's not about the diamond center at all. There's a full pack of cigarettes stuffed with diamonds. If I really had it, I would have gone into private life. I've always been a thief, and I never stopped, except for some breaks. A pack of cigarettes full of diamonds. That's all." Although it seems that Leonardo has decided to end his life of crime and hopes to spend his retirement peacefully.